Hello, everybody. We are live. Oh my God, this is the first installment of Midday Muse. Um, Bear with me, I am jittery. And I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited to premiere this video podcast with you. Midday Muse is a podcast where we'll be having conversations about various topics to do with the realities of life. That I hope will inspire you as you go out and pursue your purpose. My name is Tanaya. I am an artist. I am a business consultant and coach. I'm also an events and entertainment manager. And I have a passion for inspiring and for helping people to figure out what they want to do and also guiding them on the path towards that, as far as breaking it down into steps and setting strategies and things like that. And this podcast is to help you to just know that you're not by yourself. The things that you're feeling, the things that you're going through, um, you're not alone. You're not the only one that's struggling or finding that things are not the way you would have expected. And so you have to kind of make different moves. And also that you're not the only one who's on their journey to pursuing their true purpose for what is meant, what they're meant to do. Um, I am trying to find the chat button because I want to be able to show chat. I want to be able to talk with you guys um, candidly and transparently. And I want you all to talk back to me. So this is a conversation. It's not an interview. I will be having other guests on in other weeks, and we'll be conversing and having a good laugh or being very serious, depending on how things flow. And yeah, it's gonna be a great ride. So this is my first episode of Midday Muse. It is 12 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. AST, and I look forward to what this will develop into. Getting some theme music, getting a better camera, all of that as we develop. But I decided I didn't want to put it off any longer because so often we have these ideas and we have these dreams of what we want to do, but if things aren't just so, if they're not perfect, then we don't do it. We kind of make a reason why let's not push forward. But I don't want to do that anymore. So it's not perfect, but we are here. So today's topic is about grief, the process and progress that is grief. Um, I lost my father in 2007 and my mom in 2018. Um, so my father was interesting because I did not have the type of relationship that I wanted to have with him, and he was pretty in and out of my life. And at one point, it made me very angry. I was angry with him. I was angry, and I didn't want to talk to him. He kept calling, asking for forgiveness for all that had gone on, and I wasn't trying to hear it. I was like, whatever, you can go. Literally every phone call involved me telling this man where he can go. It was horrible. Then one day I grew up and I was like, I don't want to be angry anymore. I want to see this person, this man, for who he really is. Not just my daddy, but an actual individual who has his own idiosyncrasies and is going through his own things. And so I was at a point where I was ready to forgive. And I called the number that I had and called, and I was looking for him, and I could not get a hold of him. And one day while sitting at my desk, I got a phone call from this lady. I believe her name was Gloria. This was in 2007. Yeah, her name was Gloria. And she was like, "Your aunt has been calling me. She been calling and calling. She swears that I know you, but I don't know you. But because she has been calling so much, I decided to try and find you." My father was Ghanaian, and my aunt, his sister, was in Ghana, and so she was calling the only number that she had for me, which was a old home phone number. And I don't know if it happens in the States, but in Bermuda, after a while, your number gets reassigned. So I had not had this number for quite some years, and so it had been reassigned to this poor lady Gloria, who went on the hunt to find me. She tracked me down at work, and was like, "Your aunt's trying to find you. You need to call this number." So I called my aunt in Ghana. Yes, I made a long distance call at work. Anyway, be fine. I called my aunt in Ghana, and she says, "You must call your cousin in New York. Um, you must call your cousin in New York immediately. Your father is very sick." And I said, "Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Let me make that phone call." So I called my cousin in New York, and he says, "No, your father is not sick. Your father is dead." So I was at work at my desk thinking that finally I found my dad. Like, okay, he's sick, but I'm gonna get to talk to him. I'm gonna get to be a big girl, make a man stop being angry, stop being whatever. And no, he was dead. And I it was a physical feel. I physically felt the grief and the pain wash over me. And I jumped up from my desk and I ran to the bathroom and I screamed. I cried. I was hyperventilating. It was it was a scene. I'm a little dramatic apparently, but it was a scene. Like they brought a chair to me in the bathroom. They brought me water. It was a whole scene. I was devastated because I thought I had my chance and it was snatched. Devastated because my father was dead. He was gone. And everything that I thought I would get to experience with him as an adult, um, nope, gone. So that was coming to terms with that, the grief of losing my father and the grief of losing the idea of having a relationship with the man that I look very much like. I look very much like him. When we met finally when he was around when I was younger. So I have a memory of him when I was like maybe 3. But our first real interaction was when he came to visit me in college. No, he came to take me to school. I see my sister in here. Hi, sis. So he came to school in this black leather shaft jacket, like 3/4 length jacket. He had, and I'm saying my sister's on it because I know she knows the way he dressed. And he wore a yarmulke. He was quite a character. He wore a yarmulke. He was like 6'2", maybe 6'1". Big buff guy, dark skin. And I remember looking at him and looking at his hands and seeing my hands, looking at his legs, his thick, like, legs, and realizing, oh, this is where you got your thighs from. These lion chasing thighs from the father side of the family. So just everything falling into alignment, as to where I come from and why I look the way I look, because I don't look a lot like the rest of my family. Um, so just mourning all of that. Fast forward to 2018. Well, in 2015, my mom, she went blind on April 22nd. She woke up screaming because she could not see. And that spiraled into a myriad of health issues. She had diabetes and had gone through some things health wise before, but this was this was it, because I think going blind and just questioning, after giving her life to so many people, after just being there for everyone, taking care of everyone. She was a nurse, um, taking people in. We always had a baby at the house. Um, there was always somebody sleeping on our couch or over. Um, there was She was just kind to everyone and amazing and very understanding and non-judgmental. Uh, I was a little wild, but she never made me feel bad. Like, she always accepted that. Okay, baby, yeah, I don't like that idea, but okay. Um, and after all of that, and going blind and being sick and trying to figure out, okay, so where is everybody that I cared for? Days on end, no phone call, no visits, and things like that. It really took a toll on her. And watching her try to figure out how to put toothpaste on her toothbrush again, watching her try to figure out how to put fork to mouth, how to go to the bathroom again, because she can't see, and just wading through that. It really took a toll on her, and she wasn't able to bounce back, and become. I thought she would become this. She was a sassy, independent lady. I thought she'd become a blind, sassy, independent lady. I went to all the classes that the what is it called? Society for the Blind have, for how to, be a caregiver, and life after blindness. Watch those sorts of documentaries. Um, I even We even met up with a lady who was blind to kind of get a take on her life and the best way to go about things. But she couldn't come to terms with it. She couldn't come to terms with giving her life away, and the level of regrets that she had, for things that she didn't do, because she was either afraid. Well, not even either, because she was afraid. Afraid of what people would think, afraid of what would happen, just afraid of the unknown. And it gripped her, and it made her life a lot shorter than I think it could have been. So that's the loss of my parents. And then there's the loss of an ideal. I have two daughters, and I wanted to give my children, or still want to, but the way I'm speaking about it was like a desperation. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I wanted to give my children the opportunity to grow up in a house with a mother and a father, with, that whole situation that I didn't get to have. And so I found myself compromising a lot of my values and my standards just to get what I thought was ideal. And having to come to terms with the fact that this is not this is not the ideal. This is not what you want to do. Um, was something. It was something. So all of that brings me to today, to have this conversation with you guys about the process and progress that is grief. What do you do when you're grieving? What do you do when you've lost your loved one? When you've lost the head of your family? I mean, my mom, that's whose advice I took or ignored. I wasn't asking anybody else. It was her. So what do you do when you are now the head of the family? When the questions now come to you. when my daughter was born, it took a very, very long time to acknowledge that when she was saying, Mama, she was talking to me. She would say, Mama, and I would look at my mama, be like, somebody's calling you. Somebody wants you. But it was me. And now here I am. There's no one to look for. There's no one to defer to except God to help me decipher, okay, who of the elders, who is the best one to go to on this. And, that's a level of that level of independence is not really something I was looking forward to having. I'm getting nervous. People are joining. Grand rising to you too. And so I'm gonna just take a deep breath and slow down and let myself come into what's going on. So, yeah, I liken not having parents to being in the middle of the ocean with the stars to guide you to land. Like you have to figure out, thank you, you have to figure out, what star am I looking at? How far do I go? It's all on you. And so what happened for me is definitely a deeper relationship with God, because I didn't have that default. I don't have that default anymore. I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was saying, I don't care what anybody has to say. I'm gonna ask my mama, and she was like, the doctor said take 2 of this and cool, and with every 6 hours. But what do you think, mama? But so not having that has caused me to have to shift in my way of thinking, has caused me to have to shift in my level of trust in not only God, but in myself. Because, okay, I trust God, but I have to trust myself that I even know what he sounds like. And he kind of sounds a lot like me. God sounds a lot like us. It's on the voice in your head, the feeling that you have on the inside, that intuition. That's all God. And then it could also be you, so you got to decipher between. But that's another topic. Anyway. So things that I've learned through grief is, one is that grief is individual. No one can tell you how to grieve or for how long to grieve. No one can explain to you how you're going to react, how your body's going to react, what will trigger you. It's individual. I can't even say that it's based on the relationship that you've had, because it completely took me by surprise that my father's death affected me so much. I I didn't expect to feel so deeply about it, and because that's not a relationship that I had. You know, it's not a relationship that could say was fostered, or we used to kick ball. Like, I have very little memories of my father when I was younger, and so it was very surprising as to how deeply it impacted me. And even now, um, I found myself, especially in the past 6 months, grieving him all over again because I'm now in a different location. And so I'm actually closer to where he would have been. And so the thought of now thinking about the things that we could have done, thinking about, you know, him being able to see my daughters, just, having a quick drive, just doing a quick, none of that can happen now. And so I found myself in a space where I was grieving him all over again. Um, the other thing I learned is to be honest about the relationship that you had with the person that you lost. A lot of times we like to romanticize the dead. We forget the bad because we just want to hold on so deeply to their memory. But it's important to be very honest about the type of relationship that you had with your loved one so that you can extrapolate what you want to keep, what you want to do away with, and what you want to expound on as part of your legacy. Um, my mom gave a great deal of herself to everyone. And sometimes that left very little to me. And she got home because she was tired. She was tired. She wouldn't find her none of my mess. And I had plenty of mess for her to be heard. And she was just like, lady, little girl, please. So that left some voids for me. But there were also things that she instilled in me that helped to fill those voids as I got older. Um, Helping to understanding that, okay, my mom always worked. I was always being babysat by somebody. I was always at somebody's house, but I was always safe. My mom always made sure that I was healthy and that I was well taken care of. And she never just discarded me to anyone, to just any old buddy. She made sure that I was okay. When I needed her, she was there. Any plays, any shows, anything, she was there. So there's good and there's bad with every relationship. And it's important to be honest about what those things are so that you can then move on. Not even move on. That's not the right word because that makes it seem like they're not existing. Move forward. Move forward with your life. Move forward with the legacy that they've actually tried to give you. My mom left a legacy of kindness, of gratitude, of being kind. I already said that. She talked to me about her regrets before she passed. And so she made sure that I understood, like this was one of the last conversations that we had, was making sure that I understood to pursue the things that I want to do fearlessly. She wanted to make sure that I understood to be open and to love and to allow people to get to know me, which is a journey that I'm on now. Like this whole thing of me sitting here talking to the screen is a lot for me. A lot. But I want to be transparent. I want to inspire, and I want to make sure that I am making my mom proud because I am being fearless. I am being brave in the face of fear because I'm terrified. Um, yeah, it's important also to take the time to process through the feelings that you have. When you feel grief hitting you, don't beat yourself up about feeling the way you feel. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It could have been 3 days, it could have been 30 years. There are things that will happen, things that are said, things you see that will trigger again the loss and the longing for the person that you lost. And it's okay. Feel it. Feel it. Allow yourself to go through it. If need be, talk to someone. Not just your ace girl, but I mean like somebody that went to school to figure out how to help people. Talk to someone about what you're going through so that you can beat through the muddled thoughts, because sometimes we can get so far into our heads and far into thinking about things that it you overthink, and it leads you down into the rabbit hole of trying to, you start to get depressed. You start to you don't want to do anything. Your mind is just not there. You're not focused. Funny story. I guess it's not so funny, but kind of funny. Little after my mom passed, I was still working. I think I took like 2 weeks off after my mom passed, and then I went back to work. And I had these two little kids, 7 and 2, that wanted my undivided attention. That wanted my undivided attention. Um, that I had a whole career to do. I had a whole house to run. I no longer had my mom, who, even though she was sick, she was still that present adult, that other voice, that second voice that says, "Hey, what your mama said," So all of that was raining on me, and I was in my head just thinking, just on autopilot, getting ready for work. And my older daughter, who's also grieving the loss of her nana, they were very close. She started to cry and be upset. And so, in attending to my daughter, I got her sorted out. We were walking out the door, getting out the door, got everybody in the car, and I'm driving on the road. And as I'm driving, tears are coming out my eyes. I'm driving. I get to my younger daughter's nursery. I go to get out of the car. I don't have any shoes on. I'm completely barefoot because I am so in my head, so distraught. So I haven't taken a moment to breathe. And I forgot to put on my shoes. So I had to take the little one into school barefoot. And at least my older one, she could just get out the car, but I no shame, right? I just walked in there barefoot and didn't answer no questions. But and then I drove, still was trying to go to work. I don't know why, but still was trying to go to work. And then finally I said to myself, you know what? This is not good. And so I got all the way to town, and then I called and was like, I think I should probably stay home. Take time. Take the time you need to grieve. Take the time you need to just sit. Because if you don't, That's when depression takes over. If you don't, that's when you're not functioning at your highest anymore. You just become a shell. You just are here. And that's not what your loved one wanted for you. That's not the life that they wanted you to have. And it's not the life that you should want for yourself. So, how do you move forward? Baby steps. Move forward by being honest about the relationship. Move forward by being honest about the things that hurt you so that you can heal. Move forward by being honest about the things that helped you. And I say that because sometimes we end up being angry about things, and so we discard everything, throw the baby out with the bathwater. But there are lessons, even in someone treating us unlike what we wanted, there are still lessons and great and gold nuggets to learn about yourself, about life. So take the time out to explore those things. Be around positive people. Put yourself in positive environments. For me, I like to be by the water, and I like to be just quiet, and I love to sing and perform. So being sorry, I got caught up. I love to sing and perform. I got caught up in a memory. So when my mom went blind, we had to fly to, I think it was Boston, to Leahy. I think that's Boston. We had to fly to Leahy to find out what happened with her. I thought this was going to be a 6-day trip. I left my daughter in Bermuda. She was maybe 2 or 3 at the time. I left her in Bermuda with some family members, thought I was going to take a 6-day trip and come right back. And that 6-day trip turned into 3, nope, 5 whole weeks of trying to figure out what happened and why. Why was my mother blind? How do we fix it? Can it be fixed? And there were tasks upon tasks upon tasks, and no answers at the end of the day. And one of the things that I did while in my hotel room by myself for 5 whole weeks, I just went and found an open mic. And I went to this open mic in the middle of, I don't even know, I just put it in my GPS. I drove for like maybe 35, 45 minutes and went and sang Tyrone on the stage. And it was exactly what I needed. Because as an artist, performing my art is cathartic. And that was me. Well, no, my mom hadn't passed yet. This was a grieving process because I was grieving a life that I knew we would never have again. A life that we would never be able to move forward with. So I say that to say, find those things that give you peace. Find the things that make you happy and do them. Do them unapologetically. Take time out to take care of yourself. Take time out to do the things that you love, no matter how extravagant or minuscule. Self-care is very important. Create a vision for your life. Write it out, do a vision board, but see yourself beyond the pain that you feel right now. And make it plain, put it in picture form as far as a vision board. Write it out in your journal, and make steps towards pursuing the life that you want beyond the pain and the hurt. Because being in your bed all day is not what you want for yourself. What do you see beyond the sheets? Being angry and looking at people who are enjoying what you don't have is not the life that you want for yourself. So take time out to do that. And remember that the person that you lost has never actually left you for good. They've left you with lessons. They've left you with the genetic stamp. They've left you a legacy. And you are never actually alone. And they are always there. So that's my first installment of Midday Muse. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for tuning in with me. Thank you, Sean, for hanging in with me. Thanks, sis. I appreciate you coming on. Kamala and Dub Bass, thank you so much for being a part of this live. I appreciate it. I will be here next week. Next week, Thursday, is going to be a fun topic. I'm going to actually have Lindsay Gibbons join me, and we are going to talk about parenting during the pandemic. We're going to share our stories, share the lessons we've learned, and our experiences on parenting and what it's been like these past 2 years. It's been 2 whole years. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate you. Please comment in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know that you're with me. Pastor Eldridge says, hit them 111s. Yeah, later. Thanks, guys.